Me and Ralo just, me and Ralo just had to sit down.
Oh, you guys sat down?
It went cool.
So no beef anymore?
Nah.
How did
I ain't gonna
it
say
go?
no. It went good at first. It worked itself
Really?
out. It worked itself out. You know, his
What
little
Boosie?
nigga looking at
What
me
he wasn't
like,
trying to hear you out or something?
I wouldn't say that. It's just, you got niggas around that want to look all tough and they ready to die, and we ready to kill, and we ready to die too. And I hope they ready to kill. So it went like that for the first couple minutes, and cause I wasn't finna leave. Hell no, I wasn't finna leave.
The internet is on fire with receipts, leaked clips, and voices raised so loud it feels like a powder keg ready to blow. At the center of all this chaos sits Ralo, freshly home, trying to wipe the dirt off his name, and Boosie, the same man who went on air and lit the match that sparked this wildfire. One comment, one interview, and suddenly the streets are buzzing like it's Judgment Day.
Hell no. We gonna have to work this out.
Were you asked to leave in the beginning?
Nah, I wasn't no motherfucker asked to leave. When we got done handling the business and we shook hands like men, then I left. We finna get to the bottom of this shit. Like, we ain't finna keep doing this, man. You know what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Sometimes you just gotta crash on out. And I know people on the internet, they're gonna say this Ralo stupid. But shit, I don't know, no matter what I obtain in life, it's just certain shit I just can't let go.
Picture this. Boosie slides onto the Breakfast Club couch and drops the kind of words that you can't ever take back. He said, "I can't rock with Ralo no more. From what I heard, from what I read, looked like he talking."
Ralo kind of started it. He said that he doesn't want to be like Boosie, a rapper doing shows in his 40s. I thought that was below the belt because you do great with shows. So you said, I'm grateful that I'm still making $150,000 a weekend and selling out shows.
That wasn't just shade. That was a direct hit. In the streets, being accused of talking is worse than almost anything. It ain't just gossip. It's like branding somebody a traitor in front of the whole world. It slices through loyalty, poisons business, and flips old friends into bitter enemies overnight.
You're not a rapper and you'll never be one. You're right, you should be a CEO, because one thing you can't do is make music. God did not give you that talent. Now, did you do a verse for Ralo while he was locked up?
Yeah.
And you didn't charge him?
And Ralo, he wasn't about to let that sit. No half-hearted subtweets, no flashy IG posts. This wasn't the kind of wound you patch up with emojis and captions. Nah, this was face-to-face energy. Ralo knew if he didn't answer that punch in person, his whole name, his whole reputation, could crumble right in front of him. Time moved a little, and when Ralo finally touched back down, he wasted no time hopping in that say cheese chair to address the whispers head-on. And the clip that dropped after? Man, it had the whole internet sparking like fireworks. Ralo came with his chest out and his version of the truth, swearing he had receipts stacked against Boosie. He even said, "I pushed up on every dude with the pocket with this paperwork. I never hid nothing from nobody. And I went straight to Boo." That's a bold statement, like he was daring anybody to call his bluff. According to Ralo, he laid everything out, sealed documents, his side of the story, face to face. And Boosie's reaction? Allegedly, he told him, "You should unseal it for the whole world." Now pause on that.
Me and Ralo just had to sit down.
Oh, you guys sat down?
Yeah.
Well, because at one point he said he didn't mean to diss you. And, there was some back and forth. So you guys finally sat down in person?
Yeah.
Okay. Were there a lot of people there or just the two of you?
Nah, his niggas and my niggas.
Okay, so there were some people there making sure everything was calm. How did it go?
It went cool. It went cool.
So no beef anymore?
Nah.
If that's real, it's like Boosie himself pushed for Ralo to throw open the doors and let everybody see what was inside. That flips the whole snitch label into something way messier. Imagine your biggest accuser secretly telling you to air out the paperwork. That's not just drama. That's a scandal with receipts waiting to explode. But Boosie wasn't about to let that say cheese moment slide quiet into the night. He clapped back with his own raw message, and it hit like a warning shot. He said, "Come on, Ralo. If you're going to tell it, tell the truth. Only the people who was there know what we talked about. Let it go. We agreed we wasn't doing this on the internet no more. That wasn't just a response. That was Boosie pulling the keep it real or keep it shut card. Boosie basically told Ralo to stop running his mouth to the world and remember the pact. Handle this behind closed doors, not on camera.
When they stopped with me, did I stop? Did I stop? No. I kept going. See, they ain't gonna believe in your mission. You just gotta show them. You gotta stop telling them you don't need them. You gotta show them you don't need them. And they gonna keep trying to bring you down. And every time they bring you down, what you do? You go up, you go up, you go up, and you go up. First of all, I'm a black man. I'm blackballed from the game, and I'm the black sheep of my family. But they can take everything from you, but they can't take your hustle. And while you're on a mission to get where you're trying to go, be unapologetic. Don't even show no weakness. Don't show no fear. Barely show emotion. And when you get done, getting to where you're going, you look back at them, and you say, I'm sorry, y'all.
But let's be honest, once that clip hit the net, the damage was already done. A public shot followed by a public clapback. That's like tossing gasoline on the gossip mill. Suddenly, everybody's in the comments, picking sides, dissecting every word, and waiting for the next move like it's a heavyweight fight about to go down. Listen, the scariest part in all this ain't even the words. It's the deadly energy that wrapped around that meeting like smoke you couldn't breathe through. People who were right there whispered later that both sides were ready to kill or die. And you don't throw out a line like that unless the tension was thicker than steel. Nobody swung, no fists flew, but the vibe, it was the kind where one wrong look, one wrong word, could have sent everything spiraling into chaos. See, when two squads pull up demanding answers, it's already hostile. But when the accusation on the table is snitching, that ain't just petty talk. That's a scarlet letter in the streets. Pride clashes with shame, loyalty clashes with rage, and all that emotion burns hotter than gasoline waiting for a spark. That day wasn't just a conversation. It was a powder keg that somehow didn't blow. Yet, now pause and picture yourself walking in Ralo's sneakers for a second. You finally come home after a heavy stretch behind bars. Instead of celebration, the streets are whispering, the blogs are buzzing, and your name's getting dragged through the mud like your whole legacy is tainted. So what do? You flash paperwork? You swear you never flipped? You even push the documents in front of Boosie himself? But here's the problem. Optics can kill faster than facts. If that paperwork is still sealed in a dusty court file, and folks already convinced themselves you're guilty, then showing it to one man won't silence the mob. If anything, it can stir up even more suspicion, like, why not show the whole world then? That's the razor's edge Ralo is stuck on. If you open everything, you risk exposing moves that could backfire. But if you stay quiet, people assume the worst. And on the flip side, think about Boosie's position. When he went on air saying he can't rock with Ralo, that wasn't no offhand comment. That was a power move, a clear signal to the streets that he was cutting ties to protect his image and his crew. In Boosie's world, credibility ain't just currency, it's survival. And standing next to someone accused of snitching, that's like playing Russian roulette with your whole reputation. But let's not forget the human side. When you call a man a traitor in public, those words don't just hang in the air, they explode. And then came that say cheese bombshell. Ralo saying Boosie told him to unseal it for the whole world. That flipped the script, pushing Boosie into a dangerous corner. If he admits it, he looks foolish for cutting Ralo off. But if he denies it, he risks looking petty, spiteful, or even scared of the truth. The second those clips hit the timeline, social media jumped into full-blown triage mode. Bloggers were chopping it up, replaying every second in slow motion, dropping side-by-side screenshots like it was game film from the finals. Commentators broke it down with their own spin, hashtags started forming, Team Ralo, Team Boosie, and suddenly the culture had a new war to argue over. You already know how it goes. Allegiances shift overnight, promoters start canceling calls, and bookings dry up if your name smells too messy. Nobody wants to risk a show turning into a headline about fists flying or worse. Meanwhile, radio hosts are stoking the fire with sly commentary, and the comment sections, pure battlegrounds, people typing like they're fighting for turf. But here's the piece most fans missed. Sealed court files ain't something you just rip open because you feel like it. Unsealing paperwork takes a legal motion, a judge, and an official process. It's not as simple as, here y'all go, check this out. So when Ralo says he tried to unseal but couldn't, and instead flashed the docs privately, that creates a whole new mess. Legally, the public is locked out until the court says otherwise. which means we've got two men swearing on two totally different versions of the same meeting, while the only truth might be sitting in a courthouse drawer collecting dust. And while the law moves slow, the streets are moving fast, picking sides, making noise, and turning this into a public trial with no judge in sight. What takes this whole saga from messy to straight up cinematic is that there actually was a reconciliation attempt, at least for a minute. Remember that line Boosie dropped, "We agreed we wasn't doing this on the internet no more"? That wasn't just talk. That was two grown men trying to pull the plug before the internet circus swallowed them whole. Behind closed doors, there was an effort to squash it, to keep the heat private. But here's the problem. Once a clip leaks, once a snippet pops up on YouTube or Twitter, it don't matter what was said in that room. The streets don't let beef die easy. Public pressure reopens wounds that were halfway stitched, and the second somebody in your camp reposts, throws shade, or laughs at a clip, boom, it's personal again. And now every eye is locked on your next move, like it's the playoffs. And there's layers here. Ralo's name has been through trials, headlines, bars, and stigma. His comeback was supposed to be a redemption arc, clarity, legit hustle, showing he's serious about flipping the page. But rumors about cooperation with prosecutors? That's poison. It's the kind of cloud that can erase years of rebuilding overnight. For Boosie, it cuts even deeper. This is a man who already fought through storms, built his brand on raw credibility, and treats his street cred like armor. So imagine being linked, even by accident, to somebody the culture whispers might have talked. That's not gossip, that's pride on the line. And pride mixed with survival is explosive. Now about that actual meat. Don't get it twisted when people say, nobody put hands on each other. Words in a room like that can be just as lethal as fists. Both men showed up strapped with entourages and heavy energy. Folks close to it said there were seconds when voices cracked, tempers spiked, and the line almost snapped. The kind of furious breathing when you're half a step from swinging. Then somebody remembers the stakes, swallows it back, and restraint saves the night. That tiny pause, that moment of pulling back. That's the razor's edge between a viral headline and a homicide scene. And then came the PR explosion. The kind of aftermath that don't just fade, it snowballs. Ralo sat down for a public interview, laying out step by step how he moved, swearing he had nothing to hide. Not long after, Boosie fired back on social, telling him plain, either tell the whole truth or keep it shut. That back and forth lit up the feeds like a boxing match, with fans diving into the comments, bloggers rushing to get their takes up, and reaction channels flipping every clip into easy views. Suddenly, this wasn't just beef, it was business. Influencers cashed in on hot takes, YouTubers hit 6 figures in views off breakdowns, and gossip blogs knew every repost meant more clicks. The whole mess turned into a perfect case study in what I call beef economics, where every soundbite turns into currency, every retweet means more ad revenue, and conflict becomes the most profitable storyline of them all. Whether Ralo or Boosie wanted that spotlight or not, they were locked in the machine. And that machine only feeds when the drama keeps flowing. But let's not forget, behind all the clicks, likes, and clout chasing, there's a real cost that hits deep. Families gotta sit back and watch their loved ones dragged across headlines. Kids grow up scrolling timelines where their fathers' names are turned into arguments, jokes, or hashtags. Business partners start second-guessing deals, promoters pull out because they don't want smoke at their venues, and regular fans who only wanted the music end up ducking when the energy spills from the booth into the parking lot. That's the part that makes beef like this so heavy. It don't just stay online. These ain't just sound bites. They're ripples that crash into real lives. Pride, rumors, and receipts might entertain the internet, but the fallout lands on families, careers, and communities that just wanted the music without the violence. Now let me flip the script and play a devil's advocate for a second. Imagine this version. Ralo really did pull up with the paperwork, laid it out in front of Boosie, and Boosie really did suggest unsealing it, only for the courts to slam the door shut. In that telling, Ralo looks like a man trying to be transparent but trapped in red tape, while Boosie looks like a friend who got half the story, jumped the gun, and cut ties publicly before getting the full truth. That's one movie. But spin it the other way. Maybe Ralo misunderstood the moment. Maybe flashing documents in private felt like enough for him, while Boosie still walked away feeling betrayed by the way the whispers spread. Then the whole thing flips into another kind of film, one built on miscommunication, wounded pride, and a public that loves rushing to judgment before the credits even roll. Either way you slice it, nobody comes out shining clean. Both men are stained, both reputations scarred, and the culture's left wondering, was this beef about facts or feelings? Here's the kicker. After both men supposedly agreed to keep it off the internet, where did it end up? Right back online, with jabs flying and private conversations turned into public entertainment. That's the modern paradox right there. Everybody begs for privacy, but the first place they run to demand it is the same platforms that broadcast their business to millions. It's wild. rappers, street leaders, even household names all live under a spotlight where a private grievance instantly morphs into viral content. And in that world, the line between truth and perception don't just blur, it disappears. What people believe ends up mattering more than what really happened, and the culture rewards conflict like it's a currency. The feud stops being just about two men and becomes fuel for an entire economy built on drama, clicks, and spectacle. So, what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. And right now, the streets are holding their breath. One possible ending: the two men actually reconcile, drop a joint statement, and try to move on. But let's be real. In the streets, forgiveness is rare, and memories run long. Another path? The beef don't calm down. It explodes offline. And suddenly law enforcement is circling both camps, watching every move like hawks. And then there's the third option, the one everybody whispers about. A legal unsealing down the line that finally spills black and white paperwork. That's the kind of reveal that don't just make headlines. It rewrites history. It decides who was telling the truth, who was bluffing, and who just got played in front of the entire culture. But now I want to know, what do you think? Was Ralo really transparent, or was Boosie right to cut him loose? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're rocking with the breakdown. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next wild story waiting to shake up the game. If you're betting on the narrative that sells the most headlines, you already know the internet is gonna pick a side and never let it go. But if you're betting on survival and wisdom, you'd pray both men bury this beef before someone else ends up burying them. Rumors are cheap, tweets are free, but bullets and legal trouble, those come with a price tag nobody wants to pay. We've watched this cycle play out 100 times. An allegation sparks, a denial follows, a private sit-down happens, and then boom, the fallout goes public all over again. What makes this one feel different is the level of heat in the room, and the fact that both names carry serious weight where it counts. Ralo ain't just some random fresh out, and Boosie ain't no small-timer either. These are men with followings, muscle, and influence. And when people with that kind of pull clash, the stakes shoot sky high. Sponsors get nervous, promoters cancel shows, investors start making quiet phone calls. Suddenly, it's not just beef between two rappers, it's a ripple effect that hits money, reputation, and safety in ways way bigger than a trending hashtag. Right now, the smartest play might be the rarest one: silence. Let the sealed paperwork sit where it sits. Let the lawyers battle it out in the background and handle the unsealing if it's even possible. Let the men talk in private, off camera, and come back with a united script that protects their lives, their families, and their livelihoods. But let's be honest, that's a tall order in a culture addicted to clips, drama, and instant hot takes. The machine don't wait for truth. It feeds on scandal, and silence gets drowned out faster than facts. So what do you think? Did Ralo make the right move flashing that paperwork in private? Did Boosie jump too quick by cutting him off before the full context was clear? Is this just a catastrophic misunderstanding that can be repaired, or a permanent crack in the street code that'll never heal? And here's the real kicker. If this beef keeps burning, who actually benefits? The truth, or the tabloids, bloggers, and reactors getting rich off the chaos while two men's legacies hang in the balance? Whatever the ending looks like, remember this. Once respect is gone, it's almost impossible to glue it back together. Trust don't bounce back like a trending TikTok sound, and once pride gets bruised in public, scars cut way deeper than any headline. For Ralo and Boosie, the choices from here on out ain't just about words. They could shape reputations, relationships, and maybe even lives. The stakes don't get higher than that. And if you're still rocking with me right now, do me one quick favor. Smash that like button, drop a comment down below with whose side you're on and why, and hit that subscribe so you don't miss the next wave when new documents, leaked clips, or statements hit the net. Trust me, I'll be on this story like a hawk, bringing every new receipt straight to you. Until then, stay locked in, and I'll catch you on the next one.